Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Los Angeles City Council's meeting for Wednesday, January 10th, 2007, the second meeting of the year. And we are here in John Ferraro Council Chambers. That's room 340 in City Hall, where we meet every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. We also meet on the first Friday of the month in Van Nuys City Hall for those folks who live closer to Van Nuys in our efforts to bring City Hall and City Council meetings closer to all Angelenos. We also will be taking the show on the road this year. I think our next meeting outside of Van Nuys and downtown will be in Wilmington, so we will keep you posted as to that. We welcome our viewers on Channel 35. Each of our meetings is broadcast live on Channel 35 and rebroadcast in the evenings as well. We are available through our city's homepage via webcast at lacity.org as well. We invite members of the public to come down and to testify here on items that have been agendized for a public hearing or for our general public comments. We also are available to be listened to through our council phone service, which you can call at 213-621-CITY, and you can listen to the proceedings of the City Council and any of our committee meetings. We are currently awaiting a quorum. We have Council Members Cardenas, Gruhl, Rosendahl, Smith, Wesson, myself, Councilmember Garcetti here, and that is 6 members. We are waiting 4 other members. Today we have 2 members who are excused on city business. Councilmember Dennis Zine, who is chairing the Independent Cities Association, which is meeting this week, and Councilmember Jose Huizar, who is also excused on city business as well. That would leave us with Councilmember Hahn, Councilmember Labange, Councilmember Parks, Councilmember Perry, Councilmember Reyes, and Councilmember Weiss, who we are awaiting. If they would please make their way down pursuant to council rules, and please join us in council chambers as soon as possible. We are awaiting your presence here to begin this meeting. As soon as we have 4 more members, we will start the meeting, and I want to remind members of the public that they can testify via remote from Van Nuys City Hall. If that's closer to where you live, we are able to take your testimony and listen to it here. So we will shortly begin the meeting. Thank you. Councilmembers Perry and Parks for joining us. We now have Councilmember Cardenas, Gruhl, Parks, Perry, Rosendahl, Smith, Wesson, and myself here. That is 8 members. Still awaiting Councilmember Hahn, Councilmember Labange, Councilmember Reyes, and Councilmember Weiss. Please come down as soon as possible. Thank you. If we don't have a quorum at 10:15, we will adjourn. Councilmember Hahn. We have a minute left and would like Councilmember Labange, Reyes, or Weiss to please join us. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Cardenas, Gruel, Hahn, Weezer, Labange, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Rosendahl, Smith, Weiss, Wesson, Zine, Garcetti. 10 members present and a quorum.
First order of business, please.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Wesson moves and Ms. Hahn seconds. If there's no objection, those are approved. Next order of business.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Rosendahl moves and Mr. Smith seconds. If there's no objection, those two will be approved. Next order of business.
Mr. President, do you wish to take public comment at this time?
Let's run through the agenda first, please.
First item on the agenda, item 1, is in the East Hollywood Business Improvement District Ordinance Notice for Public Hearing. The City Clerk reports the final ballot tabulation as follows: 86.69% in favor and 13.31% opposed.
All righty. Why don't we hold that on the desk until we have 12 members, as well as the other ordinances, if we can go on to item 10, please.
Items 10 through 15 are street lighting district items, notice for public hearing, and the recommendation for council action is to continue the hearings and ordinances to January 31st.
Okay, if there's no objection, we will continue till 31st of this month, items 10 through 15. Next items, please.
Item 16 is an item notice for public hearing.
Let's hold that on the desk as well until there's 12 members. Next items, please.
Items 17 through 25 are items for which public hearings have been held. Report has been circulated on item 22, but we are still awaiting item 25.
Okay. Let's hold on item 25. Colleagues, any specials, items 17 through 24? Special items, colleagues? If not, let's go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
And let's send 24 forthwith if there is no objection. I'm sorry, did we continue 23?
No, Mr. President.
Let's reconsider 23. Please open the roll on 23. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
And if there's no objection, let's continue that till February 21st, please, Mr. Clerk. If there's no objection, colleagues, we'll continue that one. Okay. Next items.
Items 26 through 35 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, let's hold those on the desk as well for cards, as well as awaiting 12 members. And next item, please.
That would leave the closed session item. Do you wish to hold that on the desk?
I believe 35 was not an ordinance, correct?
35 is not an ordinance.
Okay,
Those
let's
are the
take
reads.
up item 35, and we will open and close the public hearing on that. Anybody wishing to call 35 special? Seeing none, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Okay, that is approved. And we'll hold number 36 on the desk as well for closed session. And let's go to public comment now. And we'd like to ask Sylvia Lynn Hawkins to come forward for a general public comment. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ms. Hawkins. As we continue to cancel on insurance cards, Medicare and Medi-Cal, we must remember that these companies and brokers got caught by the workers and not the fraud companies by not using the company card of health care after they was hired healthy before any use of the cards. After these companies owners found out that they couldn't receive any money back at the end of the year, these workers was laid off, and now bosses can't afford money they owe to United States of America employment offices. Over 60% is not paying any insurance in California. We must at this time boycott all businesses that is not licensed, bond, and never been insured. Thank you very much. My name is Ms. Hawkins.
Thank you, Ms. Hawkins. Our next speaker is Michael Hunt.
Happy New Year and welcome back, City Council. A lot on the agenda today. The 403, you guys are using it in an invalid way. in this display right here, the penal code. We called the city attorney's office. We're filing an injunction against you guys' rules and regulations. Mr. City Attorney, I would like to have a copy of this. It's in violation with the federal consent decree, as well as public comment. You guys got public comment mixed up with language and penal code. Those three things. So I'm going to see if I can get a federal judge to separate it for you guys and make you guys understand it. Also, the best Dr. King present I had is that Dean Pragerson has now returned back to the original 4215, and he will be hearing it Martin Luther King, right after Martin Luther King holiday on the 16th. So that's a good thing. That's going to be my present to you guys regarding my First Amendment rights and my civil rights violation. We feel pretty confident. We raised the bar, we raised the level of the standards of really what is supposed to be as far as our First Amendment rights and our civil rights concerned in City Hall and any place else in public forum or in a public area. Also, you guys need to listen. This 403, you interpreted it in the wrong way to put it right here on this bulletin. When you're up here for your 2 minutes, free speech means free speech. I understand decorum, but it can't be injuncted by a penal code. And I will prove that to you guys in a preliminary injunction in the next week or two. Thank you, Mr. Hunt.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Matt Dowd.
Thank you. Yeah, nice to have the rules of decorum and nobody's listening anyway. That doesn't make sense. It's good to be back, though. I just got some announcements of public interest. The Venice Beach vending ordinance, 4215, next Tuesday. Judge Dean Pragerson's taken it up now, and he's put it on the calendar for next Tuesday. He's the guy who squashed it last year. So I've always said the clock's ticking on this one, but let me just begin 2007 by having a quick recap of what happened in 2006 here. The performance of the council was crap. I think I'm allowed to say that, but I haven't had time to read all the rules. They shouldn't be posted here because I got public comment time. They should be out the back where I can read them. But the mayor tried to take over the school district. That's plainly unconstitutional, and I found out that a judge agreed with that. He's trying to appeal it, waste more city money. Prop R, we talked about that in '06. That's gone the same way. Judge Desintra Genavs. The Venice ordinance, it's on the way out. I've got an email here that confirms that. A woman got $180,000 for having flour-filled condoms because she went to jail. She only got arrested one time, whereas people on Venice got arrested 20, 30 times. And we've been to council numerous times, and nobody has addressed this issue, so next Tuesday somebody will.
Thank you very much. That closes our general public comment for today. We can return to the items that we held until 12 members were here for the ordinances, 1 through 9 first. If we can take those up. Anybody wishing to call those special? Seeing none, please open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Item 16, did anybody want to call that special? Okay, we'll call that special for Mr. Labange. And if we can go to that item next. Mr. Labange?
Mr. President, I would ask that we continue this a month.
Okay. Is there any objection, colleagues, to continuing item 16?
The department has to get better work done to and establish the fees. Is that correct? Thank you very much. 1 month.
30 days would be till February 9th. Is that okay?
Very well.
Okay. There's no objection. That will be continued to the 9th of February. Next items, please.
Mr. President, we're still waiting for the report for item 25.
Okay.
Do you wish to take up the other ordinances?
Why don't we hear the public comment card on 25 while we are waiting? Emile Val, like to come forward? Welcome.
Good morning, Council Member.
Good morning.
President, Mr. Garcetti. My name is Emile Valle. My address is 3445 Laclede Avenue in the Atwater District of the City of Los Angeles. I was born and raised in the Chinatown community, and I'm a longtime stakeholder in this project. One of my main concerns is senior citizen special pedestrian safety and the significant environmental problems related to this project and lack of analysis on record. I appreciate the fact that the council is willing to consider the serious land use and environmental issues which I have raised in relation to this project. I have submitted 3 documents critiquing a range of important planning and land use issues. These were prepared so that the committee can gain a comprehensive understanding of the numerous problematic issues to this matter. I want the council members to approve my appeal of this proposed project and require that a comprehensive environmental impact report be prepared in relation to this proposal. Thank you for your consideration to my concerns.
Thank you very much, Mr. Valle. Mr. Reyes.
Thank you, Council President. I just rise, colleagues, to share with you that this project has been in the works for about 4 years. There's been a real challenge in how we bring forward resources so that we can create access to this facility, this housing facility. Obviously, the development team, the owners, it's a completely privately funded project, so we appreciate their participation and cooperation working with us to leverage the housing department resources and any other city resources we might have to create that accessibility to the units that are available. I do believe in mixed income environments. We do need a population base that reflects all income groups, so I appreciate their effort in trying to make a very real project that will be essentially the gateway to Chinatown. It'll be a landmark facility, and we will continue to work with them through the CRA and the various agencies. And I want to thank them for the patience. I want to thank the community for their participation as we went through this process in the past 4 years. So I encourage and I vote. Please support the Plum Committee report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Reyes. Anybody else wishing to be heard? Okay. If not, let's open the roll, Mr. Clerk. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Madam Clerk, excuse me. That is approved. Next item, please.
Items 26 through 34 were being held on the desk for 12, which there are now 12, but there are cards on 2 of those items.
Okay. Which are the 2 items?
32 and 34.
Okay, let's call those special for cards from the public. And on the balance, anybody wishing to call them special? Mr. Reyes?
To ask me to move forthwith on item 25.
Absolutely. There's no objection, then we'll move forthwith on that. On the balance of the other items, if you can open the roll, close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Those are approved. Let's go back to item, is it 32? And Sylvia Lynn Hawkins, I'd like to address us on item number 32, please.
Okay. Again, my name is Ms. Sylvia Lynn Hawkins. As we continue to work on our city maintenance costs, we must be aware of our Mayor Varagas and other council members have not paid the city budget of Los Angeles. And this is causing LaDOT Transportation to pay 3 times higher in taxes, even though paying taxes is back to some of these council members and friends' tax businesses. These people haven't given United States of America Treasurer $5 to help on any cost of lower rent, military supplies, equipment, expenses, on any travel, food, or gas costs. Still, United States of America treasure is still not broke. Again, thank you very much. My name is Ms. Hawkins.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hawkins. That closes our public comment for item 32. Nobody wishes to be heard on that. Let's open the roll and close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Next item is 34. Is that correct? Okay. Let's have Sylvia Lynn Hawkins come forward on item 34, please.
Thank you very much. Again, my name is Ms. Hawkins. In Section Code 48.02, we must say no on any reverse plant on lobbying contribution of any firm, churches, or businesses. Financial support for any candidate that is running in any office position. They must support without any money back at the end of the year. Let's get each candidate in office position by debating and electing the best wisdom only and not voting. I'm also asking Senator Nancy Pesacola to veto President Bush's new plan on $7.25 per hour on minimum wages to $8 per hour on minimum wages for all 50 states. Thank you very much. My name is Ms. Hawkins.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hawkins. Matt Dowd is our next speaker.
Yeah, thank you. Let me just try and clarify what she just said, since the city attorney, he's going to have a bad year if he's not on top of these.
If you could please direct your comments to the content. Thank you.
It's relative to the content, Mr. President, but thank you, and Happy New Year to you too. I know it's going to be a Happy New Year all around. I can feel it, and this is why, because this is one. This is a transparency measure, it sounds like to me. So I'm going to be all in favor of this one. You know, this is like telling the public where the sneaky money's going behind the scenes that we weren't looking at. It's like make a lovely donation to the Children's Hospital and then you can build 100 condos. That kind of deal. That's, I mean, I may be wrong. I'm just, you know, just a member of the public off the street of Venice, and I like the sound of these things because transparency in government is key. It's essential. It's also essential not to be vague, you know, proper, those kind of things. It's all to do with transparency, ethics. But I'm here for a good time, not a long time, so thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. That closes our public comment on this item. We can please open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved as well. And if there's no objection, we'll send one forthwith as well. And that just leaves us with the closed session item, Mr. Clerk? Sorry.
That it does.
Okay. If we can, any other things that was public hearing yesterday, sir? We now will clear the council chambers in accordance with California state law for a closed session item. We will come back into open session to announce any vote that we made, and we will soon be back in open session after we take that up. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back to open session. We took an action that we should take a vote on as well on this item. Mr. Clerk, if you'll please read the item.
On item 36, there's a recommendation for settlement in the amount of $400,000 in the inverse condemnation case entitled Sean Farhad All versus City of Los Angeles.
Okay. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Next order of business, please.
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Those are posted and referred.
The desk is clear.
Announcements. I'd like to recognize first Mr. Rosendahl for an important announcement.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask Louise Franco to come up to the mic. Colleagues, I have passed around on the council floor just now a document that you all have a copy of. And if you open the document, you'll see that in it, it talks about the Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra. You know, if you don't know this, I know Tom LaBonge knows this, that the classical music is a joy to be shared by everyone and depends upon a variety of sources to keep the orchestra going. We have been asked, because some people think we're important people, you know. We are the elected, and we represent 250,000 people plus. They would like us to create a little doodle, something that we do. And they're going to frame it and they're going to auction it off. And if people think our doodle is worth buying, Tom LaBonge can do it for all of us, knowing him. But it's for each one of us, and we must sign this piece of paper saying we did it. This will help raise money for the Chamber Orchestra, which serves the whole community. Louise, would you come up for one quick second? I know I was stealing your thunder, but the bottom line is we want to be part of the solution going forward. And as Jan Perry removes your sticker, who also knows you well, Louise?
Yes. Well, good morning and Happy New Year to you all. I'm always glad to come here because it revitalizes me, and I can use some revitalizing, I'll tell you. But I'm here today not for development, as I usually am, but for doodling, and because this friend of mine works very hard to raise money for the Chamber Music Orchestra of the LA Symphony, and they do wonderful things with schools and so forth all over the city. So we're hoping that you will all give us one of your wonderful, you know, comedic or serious or inspirational doodles while you're on the telephone or whatever, whenever you doodle. And then they're going to be framed and sold at a Chinese auction at a very posh gala on February the 3rd. And we need you to do these as quickly as possible because they have to go to press with the program. And we want to announce that we have all these wonderful doodles. Thank you very much.
Mr. Cardenas?
Point of clarification. My artistic skills are very, very lacking, and I just want to give you an example as I'm going to try to pitch. Maybe I can get a little help. My son, when he was waiting for me here, found a piece of wire on the floor and made this little man out of it. Could I enlist maybe my kids to help me a little bit? I'll sign it, I'll participate, I'll kind of mess it up a little.
As long as you stand for it.
Okay, got it. All right, thank you.
Anybody else who needs a little help, be my guest.
Mr. President, that Ronald Reagan, you know, according to my colleague Greg Smith, was quite a doodler. And he used to sit by his phone and doodle. And they ended up making a book of his doodles. Then they created the presidential doodle books of all presidents who did it. So, Tom, we know you're famous and you love L.A., and we love you. But your doodle could mean a huge thing for a lot of people. Not only, Tom, for the person who buys it, but the money that you'll be raising for this group. And we can think of Ronald Reagan a little bit, and maybe we'll end up in a history book with our doodles. You never know, Tom. Okay.
All right.
Anyhow, colleagues, I'd love for your cooperation on this. Ms. Perry, did you want to make a quick comment? You're terrific.
She's saying hello.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
all of you.
We'll do
in
it. Thank you very much,
advance.
Mr. President. Thank you, Louise
Thank you.
Frankel, for your great community spirit and your leadership on this
Thank
issue.
you.
Appreciate
All right.
it.
Other announcements? Well, there's my doodle. It's just City Hall. It's not a very good one. Other announcements? Are there any adjourning motions today? If I could please ask everybody in council chambers to rise for adjourning motions. Mr. LaBonge.
Members, over the holiday, a tragedy occurred up in Ventura County where a KTLA cameraman Tim Berry was responding to his niece and his daughter. They were standing on a portion of the rock jetty. He went to save and rescue them as a breaker hit them, but unfortunately he was taken out to sea, and he lost his life. He was loved by many, 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 many people, and an inspiration to all. I ask that we adjourn in his memory, a life taken too short, but a life that went to help another life at that moment. He's survived by his wife Sue and his son Chris and Brandon and Josh. Tim Berry.
Thank you very much. Mr. Parks.
Mr. President, I'd ask that we adjourn in memory of Georgia Stuckey, born in 1913. She was the youngest of 5 siblings. All preceded her in death. She and her family relocated to Shreveport, Louisiana, where she received her formal education from Butler Hill School. After that, she relocated in Houston, Texas, where she owned a boarding house where she housed some of the most prominent musicians and the Negro League baseball players. In 1944, she moved to Oakland, California, where she and her husband, while her husband was serving in the U.S. Navy, she was just 2 weeks visit turned out to be a 52-year residence in Los Angeles after his stay in the military. She shared more than 25 years of life together before he passed in 1990. She spent her time in Los Angeles really as a community activist and a person that really was involved with her local community. Her service will be held Saturday, January the 13th at 2 o'clock at Angelus Funeral Home Chapel on Crenshaw, and the interment will be at Evergreen Cemetery.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
Mr. President, I have two. First of all, Francis William Navickas. Fran Navickas originally lived in Sunderland and then moved to Granada Hills. I've known Fran for about 25 years. He's one of those people you always say, just a fine gentleman. He always came to public events with a smile on his face and a nice word to say about everybody. Never was nasty to anybody, but just a real good community person that really loved life, loved people, and it was a pleasure to work with him over the years. He was awarded the Environmentalist of the Year by the Neighborhood Council in North Granada Hills a few years ago. Died at 86, and just a fine gentleman, and we'll all miss him. The second one is really one of those sad stories. Rex Lewis was very active in the Chatsworth Chamber of Commerce, the Business Improvement District, a good community man with a young family. Died at 49 years old on vacation for Christmas in Hawaii. Unexpected death from a heart attack, and he'll be sorely missed by the people in Chatsworth. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Any other adjourning motions? If not, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll. We will next be in session this Friday at 10 a.m. and that meeting will be, is that here? Will be here. Because we started the second week of the month, we won't be in Van Nuys this Friday. We'll be here in City Hall. We will look forward to seeing you then, and thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. This meeting